Barrister Anselm Ojezua Esquire. You welcome to the program, How Talk.
Thank you very much.
Good. So let's take the first shot. You have been in the political mainstream since 1982,
Yes.
Edo State. So you are a proper, you are a politician, as it were, being around the corridors of power in the state. Today you are vying for the highest office, contesting under the PDP platform as governor of Edo State, if elected by the grace of God.
Yes.
In all of this your experience, what can you do differently if elected?
Well, I think the main thing is to first of all establish a culture of, I would say,
when you go along, you will get better, and you will take care by yourself.
There seems to be some level of contest between government and the people. I'm not too sure that over the years people see government, as caring for them. I'm not too sure that over the years government even understands that its responsibility is to serve the people. It seems to me that government officials over time give the impression as if they do you a favor when they give you some amenities that are due to you. So the first thing is to try to change the attitude of government to that which cares for the people and which has their interest at heart. In that regard, if you walk up to a government office seeking information, you'll be lucky to even get somebody to attend to you. If we put something in place, people like that should have no business in government. Government must be seen to serve the interest of the people. That is one.
No, yes, sir. No, let's quickly come into it. Since 1982, you have been on the mainstream. You served as Chief of Staff.
I was Deputy Chief of Staff.
Deputy Chief of Staff to the same government process.
Yes.
And you served also as ABC Party Chairman. That is like the brain box of the political party.
Yes.
So what I mean is that you have been at the corridors of power since 1982 to the present dispensation.
Yes,
you had all the privileges to be a people's person.
Yes.
Because I have the acronym, my people know me, and I know my people.
Yes.
In all of those your servitude, now that you know so well that government does not seem to know their duty or responsibility to the people, there's a dichotomy between leadership. When you get to the office, apparently somebody said there was a demon, or there's a demon in government house that makes people who are elected into public office to be alienated even from their constituency. All through your experience, what did you do differently that your people will remember you from?
Yeah, so that is why I consider myself as the front runner in this aspect. I have a history that people can judge me by. People have experienced me in all the opportunities I've had to serve.
Yeah.
As Deputy Chief of Staff, I was virtually in charge of political appointments in Edo State for that period. And all the notable politicians in the party at that material time, they could see some level of order, some level of respect, and some level of inclusiveness in the process. We didn't have that sort of thing.
Before?
Yes, before. When I was chairman of Post-Primary Education Board, in fact, before I got there, the reputation of that organization was such that people thought that with money you can buy anything. It was so bad that a level 12 officer would be a principal and have a level 16 officer serving under him. That was the kind of situation we met as a board. I was chairman. Within 6 months, we had done the staff audit, and with the direction of the governor, we posted 540 principals. We set the standards, and there was no political abuse. All the politicians, contrary to what people think, everybody complied with the rules that we set. And in doing this, we involved everybody, the stakeholders, principals, classroom teachers, and NUT. They were part of that process. We posted 540 principals, and after that event, not one petition was recorded. I can go on and on, but I just say that all through the period of my service, people can attest to my character, they can attest to my integrity, but above all, they can also attest to the fact that I am
the legacy. Talking about legacy that you left now.
Yes.
That
this is the record I want to be rewarded for.
Good, very good. Now let's come to politics as it were. you know, the biggest bane or challenge of you politicians is instability. Once you were chairman of APC,
Yes.
nearly all the key players in the state or the federation are swapped from one party to another. Is it about the people or about the drive for power that is propelling you to become governor of the state? You know, you moved from chairman of APC with the governor of Shomole, now you came with Obaseki, and now you're back to PDP. That's reconciliation. Now, what is the reason for all of this instability? Are the people your focus or just power that you're driving at?
Okay, let me put it this way.
Yes.
From my own experience,
Yes, sir.
the major difference between a businessman and a politician is that a businessman is concerned with profits and money.
Yes.
A politician is concerned with people
Go.
and, you know, the benefits that will accrue, you know, for their welfare. Now, in the course of time, you find out that every political party has a constitution. But if you look back, you are going to find out that very rarely do you have political administrators, those who are in charge of managing the political space.
Okay.
Very rarely do you find them referring to those rules. They obey them, you know, in reverse. And that is what creates this problem. When people do things arbitrarily, rather than follow the rules as, you know, enshrined in the Constitution,
Yeah.
people now bring in that attitude of sole administratorship. All
Okay.
democratic practices, you know, are taken to the back
Put
burner.
aside, yeah.
And that is the pain
A
of it,
challenge, yeah.
you know. And you see, it rubs off on governance.
Yeah.
Because you see, governance and politics, they are symbiotic somewhat,
Yeah.
but you know, they don't agree. Governance is a product of politics.
Policies.
If you continue politics while in governance, it becomes retarded.
Okay.
So you have to find a way to balance it. You must find a way to manage it. So the one word I will use is mismanagement. When you mismanage the politics, then you adulterate the entire, you know, atmosphere.
Good. Mismanagement, when you mismanage, but that's on the side of politicians anyway.
Yes,
Abuse.
it is politicians that bring
Yeah.
the government.
Now let's come to the problem of stability. Now you moved from APC to PDP.
Yes.
And somebody said, by the grace of God, you are a member of the PDP, and that's the ruling party in Edo State today. Somebody said, a house divided against itself. All of us are aware of the Wiki experience and the Atiku experience.
Yes.
And the enemy will always use your disadvantage to destroy you from power. Now we know that PDP is the ruling party in Edo State, and you are vying for the highest office under that umbrella.
Yes.
Now, is the PDP divided or still united in Edo State, in your own point of view? What are your chances of...
In my
Yeah.
point of view, we have had issues in PDP. We still have issues, but they are not insurmountable.
No, the question straight, hit the point, this is our
Yes.
talk. Do you think that the house, the umbrella under which you are contested, is divided or united? Because when you are divided, when there are disadvantages or there are discrepancies that is not settled before election, the enemy or the opposition takes it against you.
No, you don't need a soothsayer to tell you that we are divided.
Okay,
That is the fact.
okay, go ahead.
And that is the issue.
Good.
I am saying, if you look, you will find out that the source of division
Yes.
has to do with how we relate to each other,
Okay.
the attitude we have towards each other. You know, the politics that I know
Yes.
is the politics where politicians who engage one another, at a point, they become closer to themselves than even to their families.
Okay.
But these days, you are going to find out that there's a lot of acrimony generated by reason of the attitude that we have towards one another.
Politically or individually?
It takes individuals to politicize.
Okay.
So what I am bringing to the table is my experience. I know all the major players across board,
Okay.
whatever adjective you use to describe them.
Yes.
The political leaders in all the, in both, you know, divisions
Yes.
are known to me. And they know that I respect them very much. They also respect me. So it's mutual. That is a basis for dialogue. Once you are able to start the process of dialogue by way of negotiation and persuasion, you will arrive at a solution. It's when you take extreme positions, then you are not playing politics.
Okay.
Politics is about engagement.
Now, okay, it's about engagement. Now, your drive, what drove you into wanting to contest for the highest office in Edo State? Is it passion, is it about the people, or just ambition?
You know, I grew up in a house that was founded, you know, on the basis of community development. My father was the first chief community development officer in Edo State, in the Midwest region.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, when he came in 1963, he helped to establish this, you know, community development division. Mm-hmm. And so all through my formative years, I could just see how my dad was relating with people, communities, talking development. In some cases, even the communities themselves, doing self-help programs and so on. So I became passionately interested, you know, in community-related efforts. In addition to that, I had an uncle who was a prominent politician, Prince Shaka Momodu, and I was very well disposed towards him, and, you know, and so I became quite enthused by it, you know. And over the years, my passion for community development, to see people do better with their lives, to see government, you know, live up to its own obligations. Yes, these are the things that drive me. Yes. And so over the years, if you listen to my declaratory speech, I could tell that in this phase of our democratic experience, from 99 to date, you will find out that we have always had one political issue or the other amongst major players. And this has always affected governance and even the people that they lead. You know, and that tends to retard our progress. So you can have forward-looking plans, you can have all the, you know, attributes that you may have, but if the atmosphere is not conducive, you really can't achieve much. And what is it about? It's just about how we relate with ourselves. You know, so that is the first thing we are going to do. Restore our relationship, restore the cordiality amongst us, establish the rules by which we engage each other. You know, nobody will be a sole administrator and nobody will be a godfather. All of us will together, collectively, run our politics so that our government can work.
Good. Yeah. Very good. It's symbiotic, the people, the key players. Yeah. Now, if by the grace of God you are elected into office, the highest office as governor of the state, do you believe in continuity? Because one of the challenges we have had is that when politicians campaign, what they say is different from what they do when they get to office. Now we have been under the PDP dispensation and we have seen some good works, or a lot of good works by the governor, His Excellency Ojezua.
Yes.
And one of the challenges we have had as a country is discontinuity, superstition, tradition. People kill other people's dreams because of mediocrity. You are an intellectual, a lawyer. Do you believe in continuing the good works of your predecessor, or you are going to just come up with your own and kill all of the initiatives? What have you ever seen good in this government as somebody contesting for the office? Have you ever seen anything good in the present dispensation?
Oh, there's so much.
Go ahead.
So much that is good.
Go ahead, just number 1 to 3.
Let me just start by saying that when you fail to plan,
you plan to fail.
Plan to fail.
Go ahead.
This must have been the basis by which Oshiomhole started his administration.
Yeah.
And you know, Obaseki was part of that administration.
Yeah.
He was chairman of the economic
team.
Yes, and sometime during the process, I was chairman of the party.
Yes.
And you know, together we used to look into this. You will notice that the journey actually started from there. And by the time Obaseki came in, he kind of deepened that economy. The economy is bigger than it was. When Oshiomhole came, the economy was bigger than it was. Now Obaseki comes, the economy is bigger. He has laid a very solid foundation in so many respects. You know, you may not see it because all of this cannot be achieved in 2 days. So you have infrastructure in terms of the industrial park. First of all, we have to agree that If we are not in production, then we are not talking economy. By this I mean we produce raw food or raw produce and then we export it in a raw form.
Okay.
What have you done? And you say you want to create jobs. You produce cocoa, you are exporting it. So the initiative for the establishment of the industrial park is going to reverse that.
Okay.
The Benin River Port, it is not there yet.
The Gile you're talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
It's called the Benin River Port.
Yes.
No, they've done so much to a point where those who are coming to build, not just to build, to even fund, build, operate and transfer, they've done that. So there's no serious cost to state, but the initiative is going to create a complete change in the way things are going to be done going forward in this state. Why do I say this? The peculiar attribute of the Benin River Port is that in this country, in Nigeria, of all the ports in Nigeria, this will be the only port that is not surrounded by swamp. Which means you can have the plantations, you can have the industries, you can have everything right there by the port. They don't have to travel far. What is even more, there is an oil exploration facility near there for Dubri, from where you can harvest gas that will now drive the power system. Yeah. Obaseki has laid a solid foundation upon which any reasonable man will build.
Yeah.
And what is more, he didn't stop there. He created a roadmap for 30 years.
Mm-hmm.
So all you have to do, just follow.
Good.
Do you understand? In some of my discussions with him, I told him, I said, look, I would love a situation where we told the line that they told in Singapore. You know what he told me? He said Singapore does not have the attributes Edo has. Singapore is not as resourceful as Edo.
State, yeah.
Singapore does not even have the human resource that we possess in Edo. And I believe him. I agree with him. There's a lot that can be done. So my own duty is not just to follow along that line, it's to improve on it. That is right. That nothing will make him happier.
Yes.
Than what I promised.
In the good works.
Oh yes.
Now let's come to the plight of the average Nigerian today. Edo State is part of the country, and we know what we are passing through is a state of cost of living crisis. Yes. People, breath is being stiffened out of the people. Yes. Because of bad governance or bad principles or bad policies. That's the word. Yes. What can you do differently? Because we are aware of the fact that breath is being strangled off to the nostrils of Nigerians, including Edo State. But our governor has been able to put some succor by all of these Obaseki bus transport services and buying gas and all of that. What will you do differently, sir, to be able to make sure that you alleviate the condition of...
You know, I said a moment ago that we, at the moment, we have a policy that says whatever you produce, you export. So we do export promotion. We are exporting crude oil in its raw form. We built refineries at some point and discarded them. We keep the workers, but they are producing nothing. So we depend on outside to get our refined crude. Okay. If you sell your crude at a price and you are importing it at a price that is 50 times more, what have you done? Have you not reversed your economy?
Very well.
Now our economy is now predicated on the dollar to worsen an already bad situation. Yeah. What is even worse? We are not even in production. Then in Edo, we have issues in Edo which we need to address very, very quickly. Do you know that a lot of the eggs, if not most, that we eat in Edo comes from Ibadan?
Yeah, I'm
Ditto with chicken. There's a company called Zatek.
With the feet,
they have a very huge facility here.
Yeah. And
they produce not one chicken in Edo. Everything is brought in from
Ibadan. Yeah.
Why can't we produce? Why should we have a feed mill in Ewu? And then it's fed with maize from the north. Far, far north. So if there is any hiccup there, it affects them here. With all the land we have, we can't produce maize. We have a rice mill in Ugboa. There's another one somewhere in Isako Central.
Echo Rice is there.
Exactly. No, but you see, what
Sabugida Ora,
you know, all those ones you are talking about, they are products of what they call subsistence farming.
Good.
So long as we retain subsistence farming as our mode of farming, we will never get there.
No, because government
we need to get out of that.
Because government is not encouraging. Where in the 21st century, people are still going to the farms with cutlasses and hoes, and the wastage in leadership. Look at the CDUs.
You are coming to my point.
Okay, let's
talk. So long as we continue, like if we continue to do the same thing and expect a different result,
we won't get anywhere.
We are not serious.
Now, but let's come to the point of credibility.
Yeah.
Most of the distrust, most of the challenges we have as a country is the issue of credibility. A man and his words, they are the same. The American president is believed by the American people because that they know that the American president's statement is equal to what he's going to do. We have had challenges of credibility. Today we have a president that is struggling between his actual age and a president that is struggling with his health status. We have a system that is shrouded in mystery, secret courts. People are not opened. Till today they have not told us how much we have been able to get from subsidy removal. It's shrouded in secrecy. Now, sir, it starts from the foundation. If the foundation is faulty, there is nothing that the writers can do. If we have a head of state that is not sure of when he was born, His Excellency Mohammed Buhari, the former head of state, was struggling whether he was born in 1961. Oshomole came here, he was struggling whether he was born in 1964. So, sir, along this line, can you tell the viewers of Edo State, 18 local government, what your age is, now that you are vying for the highest office, and what is your highest qualification?
I was 64 on the 18th of July because I was born 18th July 1959 in Ibadan, in Adeoyo Hospital. So my birth was recorded.
Yes.
And since then, it has been my age. I have never had to change my age. I went to school in Benin. I went to a Motan private school. It was later referred to as a Motan preparatory school. It's still there in Dawson Road.
Yes.
I went to Immaculate Conception College, ICC. It's still there on Murtala Mohammed. I went to the University of Nigeria, Enugu campus,
yeah,
where I studied law. And from there, I went to the law school, got called to the bar the following year, 1981. And then I went to Port Harcourt to do my youth service. While in service, I was the brigade lawyer for the 2 Amphibious Brigade in Port Harcourt. So my history is not...
Shrouded in mystery.
No, there's no mystery about it. Everything I have done in Nigeria.
That's great. But have you ever felt at any time, all of your experience in government and outside government and all of that, intellectually, have you ever felt any challenge, like pressure or like what is not done right that needs to be done right? Because we know that there's always pressure from your principal, your chief executive, to do absolutely what is not correct against the will of the people. Have you ever passed through any pressing situation where you were forced to carry out the instruction of your principal against your own will, as a lawyer and at the same time as a Nigerian who has the people at heart?
I think that to a large extent I've been very lucky. I've not had that kind of pressure.
Is it a matter of principle?
You see, part of the problem we have is where a subordinate just perceives that this is what his master would like, and he does it regardless. Or where he lacks the courage to tell his principal the way it is. When I was commissioner for lands, I remember that there was an instance when I was asked to go and pull down a building. And a few days later, the governor called me to say, that building is still there, why is it still there? And I said, there are processes we must undergo. Because you see the law, there's a law that prescribes what you need to do to be able to do so. And as a lawyer, I can't be seen to be going against the law. That building is still standing there today because it didn't make much sense. And I had the courage to tell my principal at the time that that was not the right decision to make. There are cases like that. You see, when you are invited to government to serve in any capacity, you are expected to give your principal the best possible advice. not to do exactly what he says, because he is fallible, just like everybody else.
Yes.
So your duty is to guide, to help, not just to obey simply because that is no. So I have never really found myself in that kind of situation, because I have never accepted to do that which I consider to be wrong.
Well, that can be basically because of intellectual capacity or property. Now, we know we have a lot of people that are not qualified in position of power, talking about godfatherism and all of that. Have you ever seen godfatherism as a setback to the Nigerian political strain?
A huge setback.
Go ahead.
Very huge.
How do
Very
you mean?
huge. You see, if you want to put, in fact, in government, most of the processes, most of the tasks that have to be performed, these are tasks that are tied, to the destiny of the people.
Yeah.
And therefore, you must put your best foot forward. The least you can do is to do a test. It does not matter where the man comes from. What matters to me is that there is no part of Edo State, for instance, that you will not get qualified people to get the job done. Just apply the test. I told you just now, I said, we did an exercise in post-primary education board. We set the rules. We followed the rules. We got our best men forward. Not one case of abuse.
Now, let's quickly round up, as we begin to round up, sir. Well, how many local governments do we have in Edo State? And
We
what,
have 18 local governments.
and what, how many central districts do we have?
It's 3 now.
And about what population do we have in Edo State?
We used to be about 3.5, but I believe that we are much more than that.
Well, viewers, we have been with Chief Anselm Ojezua. Am I right? You are chief?
I'm not a chief.
Okay, we have been with Barrister Anselm Ojezua Esquire. All of us know him. He's, my people know me, and I know my people. Yeah, that's the acronym. I got it, and it's a mainstream and very high contender under the PDP political party. By the grace of God, is aspiring towards occupying the highest office in Edo State, Saturday Avenue. It's a pleasure having you, sir, on our show, Hard Talk.
I am honored to be with you today.
And we always look forward to having you. It has been a very robust discussion. I know my people know me. That's the acronym. All over the world, all over Edo State, we are looking forward to Edo 2024 government election. It is our heartfelt desire that the best should happen to Edo State. It's about the people. You have heard from him. And with all his experience with his principal, governor, his chief of staff, he has been commissioner, all of that, he has told you what he can do. And we believe that the best is what we want. He also believed in continuity, that is continuing from where his predecessor started. I'm Kayode Amoaluede. Hard Talk continues same time next week. Remain blessed and stay connected with EBS.